This is the last video in the AI for Students series, and honestly, I think it might be the most important one, whether or not you've ever used AI for a single assignment in your life. Because this video isn't really about AI. It's about what happens when a tool designed to catch AI use gets it wrong, and how you can protect yourself either way. Let's get into it. A friend of mine got accused of using AI on an essay she wrote completely herself. No AI involved, start to finish, and she still had to sit through an actual meeting with her professor, defending her own writing, explaining herself for something she didn't even do. This is becoming more common than most people realize. So today, I want to walk through 3 things: why this actually happens, what the real science says about how accurate these detectors actually are, and exactly what you can do to protect yourself, whether or not you ever use AI at all. Let's start with what most people get wrong about how these tools even work. AI detectors don't actually detect AI. What they measure is how predictable your word choices and your sentence structure are, based on patterns that are common in AI-generated text. There's actually a technical term for this, and it's called perplexity. Low perplexity means very predictable, standard phrasing. High perplexity means more varied, more surprising word choices. AI-generated text tends to score low perplexity, and there's a straightforward reason why. Language models are, by design, predicting the statistically most likely next word. That's not a side effect. That's literally the core mechanism they run on. Here's where the actual problem comes in. Plenty of human writers also naturally write in clean, predictable, well-structured sentences. That doesn't automatically mean AI was involved. Non-native English speakers, specifically, tend to write with simpler, more standard sentence structures. And studies have shown this style gets flagged as, quote, AI written, at a noticeably higher rate, even when there was zero AI involvement anywhere in the process. The smooth, predictable pattern that a detector is trained to flag can just as easily be a second language writer being careful and precise, not an AI generating text. I want to sit with this for a second, because I think it's easy to hear that statistic and move past it too quickly. This means the exact same detector can be systematically less fair to entire groups of completely honest students, purely based on their natural writing style. A writing style that often has nothing to do with whether they used AI, and everything to do with their first language, their background, or simply how they were taught to write in school. That's not a minor technical footnote. That's a real fairness issue baked into how these tools function at a fundamental level. So let's look at what the actual research says, not just anecdotes. Multiple independent studies and testing efforts have shown these detectors produce meaningful false positive rates, meaning they flag genuinely human-written text as AI-generated a non-trivial percentage of the time. This isn't a rare 1 in 1,000 edge case we're talking about. And that rate climbs even higher for certain writing styles, including, again, the simpler, cleaner sentence structures we just talked about on the last slide. The data consistently points in the same direction. These tools are far less reliable than most people, including a lot of professors and administrators, currently assume them to be. Here's the part I really want you to walk away remembering. No major AI detection tool, including the ones many schools currently use, has published detection accuracy that would hold up as reliable, standalone evidence in a serious academic integrity case. Now, I want to be fair here. That doesn't mean these tools are completely useless. They can be one signal among many, used alongside other context. But treating a single detector score as definitive proof on its own simply isn't something the underlying technology actually supports right now. That's not my opinion. That's what the research on these tools consistently shows. So, here's the practical part. What can you actually do about this starting today, regardless of whether you use AI or not? First, and most important, turn on and use version history. If you write in Google Docs, every single edit is automatically tracked in the background the entire time you're writing. Here's why this matters so much. AI-generated text that gets pasted in typically shows up in that history as one massive chunk, added all at once in a single moment. Genuine human writing shows something completely different. A gradual, messy buildup across multiple sessions with false starts, edits, and revisions scattered throughout. If you're ever questioned about a piece of writing, being able to pull up your version history is one of the single strongest pieces of proof you can offer. It's essentially an automatic paper trail of your actual writing process. Let me show you exactly how to access this, because it's genuinely easier than most people realize, and it's already on by default. Open any document in Google Docs. Version history is tracking automatically, you don't need to turn anything on. Go to File, then Version History, then See Version History. From there, you can scrub through the entire timeline of edits, session by session, watching your document build up over time. One extra tip: you can name key milestones along the way, like first draft or after feedback, which makes the timeline even clearer if you ever need to walk someone through it. And if you're ever questioned, you can literally share the document and walk through that timeline live, in real time, in front of whoever's asking. Second protection, and this one's a little counterintuitive. Draft naturally, in passes, rather than trying to write a perfect paragraph on your very first attempt. Here's the irony. When students try extra hard to sound polished and formal right from the start, it can actually end up reading more like AI text, because you're instinctively reaching for the same safe, predictable phrasing that a language model would default to when it's trying to sound professional. Writing rougher first and then editing in a second and third pass naturally produces the kind of uneven, personal structure that reads as more human. And here's the bonus. It also tends to just be better writing anyway, because you're revising with fresh eyes instead of trying to nail everything in one pass. Third and last protection. And honestly, this one matters regardless of everything we've covered so far. If you are going to use AI at any stage of an assignment, even just the explainer or feedback prompts we covered back in video 1 of this series, check your professor's specific policy before you use it, not after. Policies genuinely vary a lot by class and by school, and increasingly, plenty of professors are completely fine with certain uses, as long as you're upfront about it from the start. Being transparent puts you in a fundamentally different position than being caught trying to hide something, even in situations where the actual line was genuinely unclear to begin with. Transparency isn't just an ethical nicety here. It's actual, practical protection. Let's bring the 3 protections together in one place. Show your work, turn on and use version history so you always have a built-in paper trail. Draft naturally, write rough first, then edit in passes instead of chasing a polished first attempt. And be transparent. Ask about the AI policy before you use anything, not after. Any one of these 3 helps. All 3 together genuinely make you close to bulletproof against a false accusation, even in an unlucky situation. So here's the full picture, all together. AI detectors measure predictability, not actual AI use, which means false positives are a real, well-documented issue, not some rare fluke. And regardless of whether you've ever touched an AI tool for a single assignment, protecting yourself with version history, natural multipass drafting, and upfront transparency about policy puts you in a genuinely strong position either way. This isn't about being paranoid. It's about a few small habits that cost you almost nothing, and that could save you a really uncomfortable conversation down the line. If this has ever happened to you, or if you're nervous it might, tell me about it in the comments. I read every single one, and I think it genuinely helps other people to know they're not alone in this. And that wraps the 5-video AI for Students series. If you've made it all the way through all 5 of these, thank you, genuinely. That means a lot. The next series is going deep on subject-specific AI tools, starting with math and coding, so if that sounds useful, go ahead and subscribe now so you don't miss it. I'll see you in the next one.